Okay, so the suggestion for our meditation today is on love being who we are, or some aspect of that. And I was saying that, that word conjures up so many different things for different people. Like it's supposed to look this way or that way. It's not supposed to look some other way. It doesn't include all the things that we think of are opposing to love and so forth and so on. But really, an investigation of love is a beautiful thing to do. Not to try to match somebody else's words or experience to your own, but just to see what's here when we're not thinking about what should or shouldn't be here. So anyway, as we always do, I just invite you to become aware of your breath. Let it ground you, your awareness, your attention in the present moment. And if we wanted to use that word, we could say that in this moment, love is being the breath. It's keeping you alive. It's doing its thing without need for conscious control. And if we want to look at love in a very broad way, we could say and perhaps see, understand that love seems to simply love to be, because it's being everything. It's being all the things that you think of when you think of love, and it's being all kinds of other things as well, because this is a love of simply being, existing, as the moment-to-moment experience moves based on causes and conditions that come right out of the source that simply loves to be. But when there is an awakening, we might say on the level of mind, we become aware of our transcendent beingness. And there's a sort of an up and out sense. I thought I was just this body-mind, but maybe I'm not just this body-mind. And something presents itself, something reveals itself in the transcendent sense. Not the body, not the mind, not the feelings, not the thoughts, not the memories, not the this and that and the other thing. And then we're in this transcendent, infinite realm of experience, you might say. But then, as that deepens, and it's not necessarily in this order, but frequently it is, the energy of that seems to want to move in the body-mind organism, and it will, we might say, descend from the transcendent experience into the heart, and not the one beating in your chest, but this heart that is a vast heart. Ramana called the self the heart, but the definition is not the thing. So to feel into the heart space, or to have that opened up in some way, or revealed in some way, we can experience moments of incredible love, compassion, intimacy, gratitude, joy, all of those expressions. expressions of this that simply loves to be, but it also seems to love its own expression as whatever's here, because it doesn't separate from any expression. It's not holding on to one thing and refusing another in itself, because it's simply not separate from the moment as it is. So many things in our world don't appear to be an expression of love, do they? We have a lot of suffering that's created by war, by terrorism, by division, by polarization, by violence, abuse. I needn't go on. You read about it in the news every single day. And the mind says, how could that possibly be love? Or maybe in your own experience. I certainly don't feel love for, and then fill in the blank. But if you were to feel into the response of your heart to this suffering that we see, that we feel, that is part of our relative experience, what is it like to let love touch that? It's a bit like letting our fear be touched by the fearless. Both things are present simultaneously. If we're not trying to divide, if we realize we are actually not able to separate, except by a thought, our true nature from the moment as it is, then we might begin to more and more have the experience or the invitation to let love touch the suffering, to invite the fearless to touch our fear, to let compassion touch the suffering that we feel in ourselves or in so-called others. So we could say of this love, it doesn't refuse anything or anyone. It seems to love its own expressions no matter what. In that sense, I often call it a very indiscriminate love. It loves without judgment. It loves without picking and choosing. It loves just because that's what it does, that's what it is. This love that we can feel into deeply if we open to it. And sometimes that's difficult to open to this love because there's so much that we have built up to protect ourselves from being hurt by what has passed as love or as caring, which might not have felt that way at all. So each of us gets to investigate experientially, letting your awareness simply go to this heart space. What is it that you find there when you're not trying to make it be something? Do you find defensiveness, walls, protection, a fence around the heart, fear, openness, softening, allowing, being intimate with the moment? See, all of these things are possible experiences that we have in a given moment. So if you were to just investigate with your own clear awareness without identifying with your thoughts or beliefs or judgment or memory. Just investigate this heart of yours and this heart that we share. What do you find? And if even for a moment you allow yourself to drop your argument with love, or what you imagine is love, and simply be open to it, what do you experience? Just breathe into the heart space. Let it reveal itself. When we're not pushing it away or trying to make it be a particular experience, just open in the heart to the moment. And you might inquire what in your own experience you have felt as love. And the deepest love is more than a feeling, but there's an experience here. When we touch into the true heart. An analogy might be of the sun that simply shines. If there are clouds, the sun is still there. When the clouds part, we feel the warmth of the sun. But it didn't come and go. It was always present. And so we get to look into those ways that we keep ourselves separate. And how often we go immediately to judgment rather than opening to that which is clearly aware of the mind's judgment, but doesn't buy into it because it sees from a deeper level, from a non-separate place, from an undivided space, which just sees itself. and out of its infinite potential to be anything and everything, the moment moves as it does. What is it that moves you? What is it that moves the planets in their orbits? What is it that moves the grass to sprout and be green in the springtime or with the rains? What is that? Don't go to a thought or a word. Feel into it, the depth of that question. What is present in you in this very moment? Do you think your presence is actually a thought? Thoughts are not aware. Something is aware of thoughts. So who is present to your experience? What is present to your experience? What is intimate with your experience? So intimate that it's the knowing of experience. What is that? Who are you? Just sense into that question. Don't expect an intellectual answer. What does the heart reveal? And if any of you begin to taste or feel or sense an opening in the heart, a loving presence there, you might inquire what in yourself is most in need of love. Because often we're defended right in those places, the very places we most need to feel love, compassion. What in yourself, in this moment, in this day, seems most in need of being touched by love, by compassion? So let's just sit together in the quiet and just allow whatever wants to come forth to reveal itself about love, about the heart, about the ways we defend against love. Whatever. Just let the silence take your attention wherever it feels like it's needed. And we'll sit for another 10 minutes.